guys left too. Oh, you will
Yeah,
be facing
it's a
them in
great
the series.
it's a great challenge. It's a great challenge. They've got a lot of weapons. Their rebounding is a daunting problem, and you know, opening up at Madison Square Garden is another big challenge.
I know you like the history of the league. What does another Pacers next Eastern Conference Finals moment strike you as?
Yeah, there's history there, but we're just focusing on what's happening right now. I'm sure New York's doing the same, and there's still a few days before we start, but we got to use the time wisely.
Is there anything unique that New York does in terms of the way that they rebound that allows them to have that success that some they do schematically, or is it just kind of brute physicality inside?
They're just great at it, and they've got great individual rebounders. They've got a lot of tenacity with how they do it, and they have a real system for doing it. And when they get second shots, their efficiency levels are unprecedentedly high, and so rebounding the ball is going to be an enormous key of the series.
Does last year, do you even look back much at what the Knicks were like after the moves they've made this year? How much can you draw on the series you guys played?
Probably not that much. It's a different time. The dynamics are a lot different. Talk about addition to the roster like Towns and Bridges. It makes a big difference. I don't think Robinson played in our series last year, so there's a lot of new elements to it, and the playoffs have been going on a while, so we've seen a lot of their games, and they're a great team.
How do you view the clash of styles, so to speak, with them rolling with a 7-man rotation and you guys obviously relying a lot more on depth and kind of emptying the bench, so to speak?
They're great at what they do, and so we're going to have to really work hard to be as good as we can at what we do, and that's usually what a playoff series comes down to, is a battle of styles, and so it'll be a very tough challenge.
How is that challenge different when it is a team that relies so heavily on its top seven?
Well, I mean, they play the way they play, and they've got, their starters they're all great players. They're all great at what they do, and you just see more of the best players. There's no bargain there at all. So.
How is Drew able to keep Brunson square, keep him square? What are some of the keys for Drew going up against Brunson once again?
Well, this is going to be a team thing. It's not just going to be Drew. It's going to be Drew. It'll be Aaron. It'll be Mathurin. Tyrese is going to end up on him some. Shepard's in the mix. McConnell has guarded him. Brunson's a master at creating angles, and he has uncanny ability to create space and shots. And there really is. You think in the history of the game, it's very difficult to think of somebody quite like him. He does it at such a high level. So. With great players, we had Giannis in the first round. We try to make it hard. The second round we had to deal with Mitchell. He was scoring 40 a game. You just got to try to make it hard. And we're not gonna stop Brunson. But we just got to try to make it hard, and we got to figure out a way to make it hard on the other guys too.
When you had him in Dallas, did you see this kind of development coming, or?
Well, I would say this. I don't think anybody was expecting quite this, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by it. I mean, this is a kid that's had a lot of people that didn't believe in him all the way up the ladder, You know, I talked to his college coach about this some when I was in Dallas. You know, I talked to Jay, and Jay said, you know, this kid's he's a bulldog about his belief in himself, and you know, he was great for us in Dallas, and he was a guy that could really score, and he was really smart defensively, and you know, so I mean, I think kind of categorically, I don't think anybody in the whole world saw him becoming, you know, a megastar that he has in New York, but I'm not surprised that he has, because he's always been determined. He's a total winner. He's a great leader, and don't bet against resourcefulness and grit.
Yeah, I think the starting lineup's really good. They got a physical team. They got size that present a problem on the offensive boards. And it's just tough team. You're gonna have to full team effort to kind of grind those guys out of there.
What did you learn about guarding Brunson last year that you could take into the series? Obviously, a different player even now that he was then. What can you do in that match?
You just got to play hard against him. Try to make it physical. Try to contest every shot. Like a lot of these tough guys, you know, you're not going to stop them. You're just going to try to wear on them, make it tougher and tougher as the game goes on. Hopefully they miss shots.
Yeah, some games where it feels like you're shooting in an empty gym. How do you keep them out of that kind of rhythm? Is it just that play hard, or is it something else you can do to break up what he does?
Breaking up rhythm with maybe how you play him, stance and everything, but just got to play hard and things will fall on your way if you play hard enough, I think.
How do you view the difference in styles with them running kind of 7 players, you guys emptying the bench all the time? I guess, how do you view that aspect of this matchup?
That's what they do. That's what we do. We're gonna both try to play our styles and see which one can kind of beat each other up.
Does it present any sort of unique challenges when it is a team that relies just on that top 7?
Not sure, no.
Andy, what sorts of things has Rick helped you with in development, understanding the league and the program?
Say it again?
What sorts of things has Rick played a part in your development? You understand the pro level game?
Yeah, I mean, Rick's helped all of us since we got here. Just understanding the mental side of the game, how to be prepared. I think he does a good job preparing us for the moment and having us in the right space to perform and compete at a high level.
We hear so much about playing in the Garden, how it's different. You guys won that game 7 there last year. What did you learn about how to manage playing in that environment?
You just got to enjoy the moment. Let the excitement and so-called pressure to just focus you in on what you got to do and the task at hand and the play right in front of you. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun, and that's what you play for when you're growing up.
Rick's system and just the way that he runs it, randomized movement and all that stuff versus set plays, I guess just what makes this group so well equipped? And as a player, I guess what's it like playing in a system like that?
Yeah, I think what makes us well equipped this year is the continuity. I think this team's been together 2-3 years. All the guys are getting more chemistry on the court together. We just feel each other, can move off each other well. So I think over time the experience has given us, makes us good.
Why do you think playoffs come and you just take off? What do you think is behind that?
I'm not exactly too sure. That's what you guys will find out.
Well, yeah, if you've watched them play at all, this offseason, that's where a good amount of their offenses come. Guys like Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, Carl Towns, guys that have been on the boards heavy, giving them extra possessions, think they're like 0.5, 0.6, second chance points. So, no, you can't overstate it enough.
Beyond that rebounding part, what stands out to you about the challenging things that they still present you guys?
It's a hard-nosed team, man. They dictate the pace of the game. They're going to play a half-court style. Again, they got like those hard-nosed guys and they do all the little things, the dirty work. They got a short rotation of guys that play. So, we got our work cut out ahead for us.
There's one game 7 there, obviously. What did you learn about playing in that arena, that environment?
We got to embrace it. I think it's one of the biggest stages in the world. Especially with the storied rivalry, that comes from these two franchises, and it's just a lot of fun, man. That's really what it is. You can't really, take it as anything less.
How do you want to approach this week you guys have between games, or even from a team level, about the balance everybody talks about with rest versus rust and making sure you're ready to go?
You know, the physical part's one thing, but just keeping the edge, keeping our mentality sharp, because you kind of everybody sings your praises. You get to these conference finals again. It's easy to get buttered up this time of the year, but it's not really our MO right now. We just get back to things that make us great, and just being back in the gym definitely helps alleviate any of that noise.
How have you seen Rick kind of adapt over the years to the style of offense that you guys run now?
Well, I think one thing is just giving the players a lot more freedom. From what I've seen with Rick in the past, he's called a lot of plays or wants to kind of dictate the flow of the game. But now he kind of just lets players go out there and create. And I think that especially helps this time of the year because in the playoffs you can't really, everybody scouts, everybody knows your plays and whatnot. So the fact that we play freelance, free roaming basketball, that's a tough scout to have.
Do you think that's more because of the composition of the team, the guys that you have on the roster, or is that him just being a little bit more freer in what he allows guys?
I think his experience. I think, of course, a lot of it does have to do with personnel, but I think his experience, with different personnels, different guys in this league, he knows how to kind of adapt as he goes.
You mentioned the short rotation that New York has. Being as deep as you guys are, how is that going to help you guys over the course of the series, no matter how long?
Keeping fresh bodies out there, especially this time of the year when you're playing 35, almost 40 minutes a game, and it helps a ton. Especially having the trust in the guys that can go out there and get it done. So, I think for us, it's been a part of our, one of our powers in this past couple of years, just to be able to be relying on each other.
What do you see from Andrew in terms of the way he guards Brunson?
Well, keeping Brunson square is a lot harder than it looks. He's someone who thrives on angles, and I'm not going to put all of Drew's secret stuff out there, but I think that he does a good job of just keeping him square.